All right, we should be good to go. Leander, I'm going to unmute you as well, just in case anything happens. There you go. All right, so we are now live streaming on Facebook. Welcome to the Facebook family as well. Right, my name is Zoyisile Ndlovu, and I will be the one hosting the people today as we have our lesson. Right now, I want to share the screen as we play a song from God's Grace Ministries. Now, what we're trying to do that every single Sabbath, we have a group coming through. So they took their time to make a video for us for this particular moment. So now the song is a two-part song. So it will take about maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes, about it maximum. Please listen to it. It's a two-part song as I play it for the people. Let me know if there is no sound, whatever the case could be. Leander, please do check your phone. I want to send you a message quickly right now. We are going through, and this is our song.
I think Mtandazo has fallen off there, and then it's made me the host. So I'm gonna just pass it over to Leander, because I'm not in a in a good space for me today to take over until Mtandazo comes in. So Leander, sir, please take us through until Mtandazo comes back.
All right, thank you so much. Hey guys, these things, they always happen all the time. And nevertheless, the devil is a liar. Let me quickly share the screen so that I can play what Mta had planned to play, né? Because we insist that we do that. And then thereafter, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk Usai through what I'm intending, or the outcome or the objective for what we would like to achieve today, and then hand over to him, afford him a mere 15 to 20 minutes just to give us a presentation in terms of what does it mean and the importance of being healthy physically from a perspective of a person being a sports fanatic and, you know, if you like, physical activity and an adrenaline junkie. Okay, I don't know who took my hostship now, but nevertheless, I'm just going to give it to you.
My network kicked me out. I'm telling you, the devil is a liar, my man. I tell you, he is a liar of liars.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I got kicked out while I was enjoying the music. Can I just share the screen one more time? Yeah, this thing. Let me just put that through coming up for you now. Let me play the song.
The devil is a liar.
Anyway, now, Putti. Right, let's go. Here's the song, and we take it out.
Songu malusi uyakubizela phakathi sibayeni kukhona indawo waza kusenamhlanje khona usemusha ngena esibayeni sona seqiniso Jesu yasibiza hambige woza kimi uyangibekezelela wena Jesu malusi wami ndothando Jesu yasibiza hambige woza kimi uyangibekezelela wena Jesu malusi wami malusi ungu malusi ungu malusi Jesu malusi wami bayede gonyama bayede gonyama bayede gonyama Jesu malusi wami bayede gonyama bayede gonyama bayede gonyama Jesu malusi wami.
All right, thank you so much for that one. The second part of the song will play it towards the end of our service. Okay, Yanda, I'm going to unmute you. I think we'd say that we're going to have a word of prayer first, then we give over to our brother Simon. Now, before we come through to the word of prayer, let me just give one or two announcements. So what's going to happen is that it's going to take us through the lesson, and then we will anchor when he is done. That means that when he is done, either me or Leander will be able to take over, and most of what Brother Simon Kubeka will say will come from when the discussion starts happening. Now, as you can see, all of you are muted. Once he's done and we start the anchoring part, you lift up your hand through the platform, then we'll be able to acknowledge you. Then you can say whatever you need to say. Even on Facebook, we'll be able to catch your comments right there and bring them over to this platform as well. All right, thank you so much. Right now, we'll start off with the word of prayer. And then after the word of prayer, he will take over our brother Simon Kubeka, physical health alignment. Let's all close our eyes and pray. Our Father in heaven, we thank you so much because you're good, even in times when things are not right. Thank you so much for the power and the life that you've given us and the blessings that accompany the life that you've given us. We are so grateful right now as we talk about one of the most essential things in the life of a Christian, physical health alignment. Bless our brother Kubeka Simon, that you may speak through him words of wisdom and life and power. Be with us until the rest of the service ends. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
All right, thank you. Thank you. We also want to thank God's Grace Ministries, which have done this beautiful videos for us here. Jesu ngumalusi wami bayethe gwenyama. Simon, here you go, my man. It's up to you. So Leander, I'm going to mute you, and then after that we can give over to our brother. He's good to go. Any problem that you may have, let us know. We are all here listening, ready to listen to God's words. God bless you. Amen.
Amen. Evening, guys. I just wanted to find out if I'm audible enough.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Great one, Simon. Great one.
Cool. And Sanjay, I just like to start by thanking the leadership for inviting me. It is an honor and a privilege to be sharing my 2 cents with you guys. The topic on physical wellness is a very sensitive topic to me, because I am standing today with you guys because of the decision I took, in pursuing, the art or rather the mastery of physical wellness. I want to give you guys a background, but before we delve into that, I just wanted to share a word or two, from the scripture, just as a foundation, right? When you read Genesis chapter 2, verses 18, we find a very powerful text there in scripture, right? And in fact, before we go there, there's a particular verse that I'm looking for. We find in Genesis chapter 2, when God was creating man, He creates man in his own image and in his own likeness, right? That's Genesis chapter 1. Now, when you move over to Genesis chapter 2, in fact, before even man is created, we find that God creates everything else on earth before man can be created, right? And then God creates man having, planted a seed, or rather build a stable environment for that human being, to dwell in, right? So in Genesis chapter 2 comes this man who is created by God, who is called Adam. Now God gives Adam a task to see if what he has created is perfect, right? He gives Adam a task and says, Adam, name every living thing, which is, on the earth. And the Bible tells us in Genesis chapter 2, Adam manages to name every little thing, and everything, Adam named, God approved. Meaning the mental state of Adam and that of God were aligned, right? And Ellen White then comes in the book Education, and she says, human beings created in the image of God are endowed with the power akin to that of the Creator, individuality, power to think and to do, right? And it's very important to me to highlight this because it shows what human beings were created with the power to think, right? And with the right mind, bigger things can be achieved. Meaning right decisions can be attained, right habits can be attained. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because physical fitness requires a lot of mental toughness. One cannot be physically fit if he doesn't have the right state of mind to keep him going. Now, I'll deliberate. I'll make an example. By physical wellness or physical well-being, I'm talking about training your body, to be able, to take up such harsh challenges that you give your body to, and that takes a lot of willpower. And willpower is derived from the ability to have positive thoughts for you to be even able to do these tasks. So for me, I think it is important to set that premise that, guys, without aligning yourself with your mind, you will not even attain this thing we call physical wellness or physical fitness, right? And I even went and did some more research, on secular scholars, and this is what they have to say around this issue. Bonabati physical wellness is the ability to maintain a healthy quality of life that allows us to get the most out of our daily activities without undue fatigue or physical stress, right? Physical wellness means living responsibly and taking care of your body, the body that was created in the image of God. So you can see that there's a link here. There's a link. It's as if God is trying, he's urging us to take care of what he has created in us. So it is our responsibility to keep our body, at the level in which, Christ, or rather God, wants us to be. So it says here, physical wellness means living responsibly and taking care of your body and recognizing that our daily habits and behaviors have a significant impact on our overall health, wellness, and quality of life. Now, there are various things that make up this thing that we call a physical wellness. I'll just mention a few as an example so that you can get a deeper understanding of what we are trying, to achieve in this. An example would be a balanced diet. You can never have a physical, you can't be physically fit if you do not eat, a certain way. For example, I usually see people saying, no, you know what, my goals for the year is to actually have, a nicer body, for December. Sometimes we car, and when you get there, obviously it's hot. You can't wear your jays and whatnot. So you want to be, comfortable when you're exposing, your limbs and everything else. So someone's goal might be, by December, I want to be physically fit. And what I'm submitting to you is that you cannot achieve that if you do not eat a certain way for you to achieve that. So a balanced diet might be an attribute to your overall physical wellness. There's another example of irregular movement or engaging in physical activity, of which I'm going to touch on that as well. In sports, they usually say that if you want to build muscle or if you want to maintain, a balanced body, you need 30% should be devoted to regular movement or physical activity. But 70, the bulk of this, right, is derived from what you eat, what you intake in your body, will give you the right results. We'll talk more on that. So it's balanced diet, a regular movement of physical activity, and adequate sleep. Leander, some of us have adopted bad habits of not sleeping adequately. We have a tendency of sleeping way after 12. I know some of these habits we picked up in varsity and everything else, because we needed the paper so that, we are able to get an employment or whatever goal that you want to achieve. But getting adequate sleep, it's also important for you to attain this physical wellness. And also routine health checkups as well, might also help, because once you know your body type, once you know your anatomy, you can be able to play around, with what you know for you to attain, the state that you want to attain. Right. So I think these can, like all the things that I've mentioned currently, can be a foundation of the discourse that we are about to engage in. So to give you some background, I am coming from a background of martial arts, traditional martial arts. I have a black belt in martial arts. It's something that is not heard of, especially as an Adventist, because we are taught that we should refrain from physical activities or physical violence. But the reason why I decided to pursue that art is for my own well-being. I wanted to attain physical wellness, but I also wanted to be able to be in control of my own body. I'm someone who's very sensitive, and I don't like being taken advantage of, right? Because a lot of people have this tendency of taking advantage of people that seem to be kind or seem to have a soft personality, So for me to avoid being taken, advantage of, I needed to learn how to defend myself. And that's how, I started doing martial arts. And little did I know that I would excel in that. I started engaging in tournaments, I started winning tournaments, I started representing the organization in which I'm currently in, both in provincial and national level. And then I decided that, no, man, but with the skills that I have, I can also teach others, to also be able to defend themselves. So what I ended up doing is to start up this project of just being a personal trainer, out of my spare time, out of work, just as something like sort of like giving back, to the community with the little skills that I have. Because the reality is that from the beginning of time, there's always been violence happening. You read Genesis, Cain kills Abel, down, we can count all these stories, we can count all of them. There's always been, Christ himself was crucified by the very same elders of the church. Those guys killed Jesus, literally. So what the point I'm trying to drive into is that unfortunately, because of sin in this earth, we find that there's a lot of violence happening, in the spaces that we live in. And as such, it is of vital importance that as human beings, we are able to protect ourselves and the ones we love. So I'm trying to give you a lot of talking points so that when we have this conversation, at least it becomes meaningful, to the viewers. So we find that the Bible tells us that there's been a number of cases of violence. To this day, we are experiencing violence. Women, it seems as if it is a curse to be a woman on this planet Earth. It is a curse to become a child, on this earth. In essence, it is a curse to be vulnerable or to seem vulnerable or seem like you can be taken advantage to. It seems like it's a curse on this earth. And therefore, I think that one way we can combat this violence issue around women, around kids and the elderly, it is through physical wellness and also knowing how to defend yourself generally. So yeah, that's what I want to submit to you, leadership. I don't know if maybe we can engage. As I've mentioned that I've did traditional martial arts. I have a black belt there. I did MMA, mixed martial arts. I've done a number of things. Why? Because I felt as if it is imperative that I'm able to protect myself and to protect those that I love, and not only that, and to also impart this knowledge, this skill to the people that I can reach out to,
Okay.
So all of those things to me, I think they make, all of those touch points, I think ultimately, because I mean, you cannot be able to defend yourself if you're not physically fit. If your mind, if your mind, your body, and your spirit is not in the right place, there's nothing you can do. You can go learn boxing today, but if you're not physically fit, if your mind is not in the right space, and if you're not aligned, spiritually with your maker, I don't think you'll be able to do those things. So hence why it is of vital importance, that we just think about, think about some of these things and how we can better make better decisions pertaining this subject matter. I thank you.
Okay.
All right. Amen. Thank you so much for that one, Brother Simon Kubeka. Beautiful one. Leanda, I can see that you're here. I don't know. We can co-anchor. I think I'd sent you a message there somewhere. Just check it out, but we can discuss it here. It looks like, as we're about to start our discussion, it looks like I think any average Christian in the 21st century must understand that they must both be very spiritually fit while they are also physically fit. If you have gone to a typical church board, you would have known that sometimes it is essential to use physical power and you need to be physically fit to get the points across, brethren, sometimes. Not just with verses, but also you need a bit of some muscles. We have so many encounters in the Bible of physical war, of being clapped and being beaten until the rod has not spoiled the child. And that's exactly things that we're aligning to. So right now, the platform is open. We need to ask questions. Physical health alignment, and we've heard our brother. It is very good to have young men who have black belts in the church. In my church, if thieves were going to get in there, they were going to have a field day because none of us has any considerable upper body strength, nor any skills whatsoever to defend ourselves. So we need to be both spiritually and physically fit. Let's talk about some of the concepts that came through. Leanda, you heard Kubeka. It speaks about the balanced diet. Apparently 70% of the man, woman that needs to be physically aligned, physically well, must have a good balanced diet. Let's speak along those lines. If you want to say something, you just lift up your hand. We engage. You can bring other themes that are aligning to what we're talking about. Brother Kubeka is still here to answer some of the questions, but we are not necessarily putting him on the spot. That's very true. We are not necessarily putting him on the spot. What we're saying, since he's our speaker, we'll get through to him as we go on along. So I will mute you for now, Brother Kubeka. As soon as questions come through, then I'll be able to take it up. I will be able to take it up from there. All right. Van Heren's got a hand up. Skumbuza's got a hand up. All right. Yanda, you want to say something? Because I know you're a physical alignment fanatic as well.
I wanted to take it back to him before he brings it all to us so that we can engage. There's a facet that I discussed with him, and I just want him to address it quickly, and then we'll open up for discussions. Now, physical health alignedness challenges the mental faculties, right? In terms of the discipline of the mind. The pain that the body has to take is aligned with what the body has to, with what the mind has to be prepared for, all right? So if I put it in retrospect in the way that he's trying to, well, he's painting it for us, is that for you to be able to physically defend yourself, you must make your body receive the beating first, so that when nature gives you whatever it strikes at you, whether through a hijacker, whether through a natural storm or whatsoever, you are ready without accusing anybody of having a ulterior motive towards you. It's like you beat yourself up first. So I wanted to take him from an angle of preparing the mind, so that even through mixed martial arts, the muscle has to take the pain, the discipline has to be enshrined in the mind. So how can we link the what he has spoken of already with how the preparation of the mind has to be catered for? And I wanted to address it to him exactly because him and I always engage on this in terms of how do you prepare yourself mentally, and then we can open it up for discussions.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Lee. I want to give you my experience, because I can't speak about something I haven't done, right? Leander will tell you that I read a lot. I read a lot. For me, that's how I'm able to train that muscle of the mind by acquiring knowledge across different subject matters. So for me, I think what's currently working is that you constantly have to train your mind. You constantly have to meditate. I know as Christians we do have prayer sessions whereby we meditate, and we reminisce and we have deep conversations, right, with God. So for me, I think, Lee, what helps me a lot is through reading, and also other techniques, obvious, that we can use to train the mind. I think also how can I put this? I'm sort of like a nerd, so because I'm in the tech space, so I'm fascinated by by innovation, by technology, and that once you are a technical person, you always teach yourself new ways of doing things. So for me, that works a lot. And Uliana is right as well. You need to take on a punishment. You need to inflict a punishment. Now, what is punishment? I take punishment as something that you do that you don't want to do at that point in time. Okay. A simple example, if you are a student, for example, studying can be a challenge, but you having that ability to study, you are sort of like training your mind, channeling your mind in the right direction. And I'll give you examples again. By doing so, you are developing a character, a particular character as an individual, as a human being, right? Because and I've noticed with myself, if I don't feed in, if I don't have, if I don't communicate with God more, or if I don't read more, I fall in certain aspects of life, which also contributes towards my physical well-being in general. So for me, the mind, guys, the mind, once the mind is in the right place, I promise you can achieve anything you want to in life, like in its literal sense.
All right. All right, great and powerful things. Thank you so much, Brother Kubeka, for that, the mind. And as we start to engage, now, one thing for certain, Simon, these are fundamentals that our church teaches, fundamentals that the world teaches, right? So let's just agree on something here. There's nothing new. But maybe what's important now is to understand that though there is nothing new here, we have been failing on what we know. And Brother Kubeka is coming up with an angle that it can help us, especially us as Christians. Anonymous just asked a question here about his physical fitness. We're going to deal with that. But let's understand that these are rudimentary, foundational issues that we have to deal with here. We speak a lot about spiritual health, but sometimes we speak less about physical health, and that's what we want to align ourselves to. 70%, I heard that one, 70% is diet, 30% muscle. 70% diet, 30%. Van Heden's got a hand up, Skumbuzo's got a hand up. Let's start engaging on physical alignment. Let's find out what other people are doing. How are people doing it in the 21st century? In the world where people are busy from morning till night, how are people doing it? How can we get that 8 hours of essential sleep? How about the drinking of water? How about exercise? When do we do it? How can we do it? So Simon Kubeka will come through and tell us about things that we can do. Women, men, every situation. I'm excited about this one here. Here we go. Van Heden, your hand is up. I'm giving you the opportunity.
Hi, Simon. I had 4 questions, so I'm going to cut it down to 2 because Tas says let's not put you in the spot. Question number 1. I believe that you could be Adventist, judging by the way you've spoken, and as far as I know, most tournaments, if not all, are on Saturday, and on very rare occasions they're on a Sunday or during the week, if not on Friday night. So how did you manage to navigate the challenge of attending tournaments, whether it's from district level, provincial, up to national, on Saturday, because they always fall on Saturday? Second question, I understand martial arts to be, I don't know of mixed martial arts, it could be American. I understand martial arts to be a discipline from the Asian countries, and 90% of them speak of finding your center, so to speak. And if I'm not mistaken, that's something that's taken from Buddhism. So do you not find yourself falling into another religion that conflicts with yours? That's all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Those are 2 powerful
Right.
questions.
Yeah, some powerful questions coming up for you there. Listen, can we do this? Can I give to Skumbuzo while you sort out your answers for the next one, right? So that at least once it's done, Skumbuzo, then you come through, because you've been asked some serious questions about your Christianity. And I think you are, just as a heads up to everyone, our platform is predominantly SDA members. As you can see, Kubeka has got everything SDA about him: tiny, strong, and Futun and Chebe, quite well cut for SDA. So it pretty much fits into our narrative right now. There is nothing a non-SDA about him. Definitely an SDA member from South Africa, as you can see. I want to give over to Skumbuzo while we go on. Skumbuzo, my man, go ahead.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, boy.
Okay. Yes, I'd love to. we even a club where martial art for you, yes. Especially these ones about slow it down at your back. Anyway, I've got maybe 2 questions. Now, the first one is that should we encourage martial arts to our young people, like as a way, or maybe the motive of encouraging? Should it be so that you can be able to defend your sister as you're walking through the streets of Joburg? or you should just take martial art as a way of a club where you can be fit physically, not necessarily for your defense. Here's why where my question comes in. Now, if it's for defending myself, I might as well buy a gun. So if you come to me with your martial art, I'll just shoot those muscles, because the muscles, they are not bulletproof. So I think, I guess you get where I'm coming from. Guti, how should we encourage martial arts? You know, for health reasons or for protection? Am I protected by my skills as an Adventist, by my skills of martial art, beating other people? Or am I protected by the grace of God? Now you've got martial arts, there comes COVID-19. Now, how will that help you? You know, like, this is what was ringing in my mind when you're talking about, like, now, how will this martial art help us in terms of Christianity? How do we put all the pieces together, including our Adventism? Well, I also did martial arts, but now, yeah, my second question. Now, in doing martial arts, this is what I did. To a point where if someone comes behind my back, even let's say someone comes behind my back when I don't see them, I could feel them somehow, especially if maybe they want to touch me or beat me. I could feel them and do whatever that I've learned, maybe to push them away. Or when I'm sleeping, if someone comes, even these days, even nowadays, it's still happening that when I'm sleeping, you come in, immediately, I just wake up with some flying kicks or some punches. So what triggers that? You know, that's one of the reasons I ended up stopping doing the martial arts. It feels like now and there's a spirit that is not controlling me. Why do I sense things that I don't see? Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Kubeka, take us through.
Thank you so much for the questions. Those are very important questions. Guys, there are misconceptions around the whole field of martial arts. I want to position this properly. The discussion is not the art itself, but it's about physical wellness, right? And I am saying that I grew my strength, from practicing traditional martial arts, right? Now let me answer the first question of the first brother. Can you please help me with the question? I might not know how to.
His question was on tournaments that you have attended that are probably have clashed on a Sabbath, and that's where he was coming from.
Okay, cool.
Clashed with the Sabbath, yeah.
Okay, cool. So from my own experience, I was lucky to find martial arts while I was in varsity. It was back in 2009 when I started varsity. So the nice thing about that is that we had inter tournaments around the institution itself, right? And then what used to happen is that we had annual national tournament. They used to call them USA tournaments. It's University Sports Karate Association, right? Now, the lucky thing about those tournaments is that they used to happen on 2 consecutive days on a weekend. Now, in martial arts, there's semi-contact. Semi-contact is whereby they are using a point system, whereby they wear gloves, a headgear, and they do a point system of fighting. And then there's full contact karate, which is the one that I specialize in, whereby we don't use any protective gear. We use a knockout point system, right? And luckily enough, that one was on Sunday. Right, so you find 2 tournaments you find in one tournament we compete twice, both Saturday and Sunday, and those tournaments for full contact were on Sunday. And also in other tournaments as well, which are not sponsored by universities, local tournaments, there are 2 types of tournaments as well. The ones that were done mostly on Sabbath were the ones whereby they demonstrate techniques. We call those gatas, whereby you just demonstrate, and people will compete in that. And then on Sunday, because of the number of people or the number of fighters that will be fighting on that day, they reserve Sunday for full contact fighting. And that's how I used to participate, right? And I was lucky as well, because when I graded my black belt, I was graded by Ushihan Wandile Ngapai. He's an SDA elder in the Eastern Cape. Right, he is my grandmaster, so to say. He's a full member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So the nice thing being under his wing is that he understood, right? And also, to answer the second question now, as to the spiritual element of martial arts. Now, martial arts, he's right. Martial arts was started in Asia, right, in Japan, to be specific. And you are right in saying they believe more in spirituality, right, when invoking these techniques, right? So what we then decided to do, because we wanted the techniques, we wanted the skills to be able to defend ourselves, so we distanced ourselves from the spiritual element of this thing, and we only took the practical things that one can do on a day-to-day basis to defend themselves. I don't know if that answers all questions.
Okay. All right. Then there's a, I'm not so sure if you want to attempt the third one, that the third one that was given by Brothers Kumbuzo. Should we encourage self-defense? I think you talked about karate and all those kind of things. And that's a very important question that we should be having. Self-defense, especially in a country such as South Africa, as ours here, where anything can happen within a short space of time. Should we encourage self-defense amongst the church members? Should we be having such discussions, or all we need to do is to be spiritually fit? The Lord is our refuge and strength, a very present help in the time of need. Should we therefore go for self-defense? Take us through that one while I also try to evoke more comments from people. Go ahead, my man.
I'm going to answer this using all last day events. In last day events, Ellen White says a very powerful statement there. He says, "He who does nothing but pray will soon cease to pray."
Okay.
Right? So what I'm saying with that statement is that it might not be martial arts per se that you are pursuing, right? But I think self-defense, at the very least, it's of vital importance that someone pursue. We are living in a very toxic world, right? Our women are vulnerable, our kids are vulnerable, we are vulnerable ourselves. At the very least, you need to be able to protect yourself, both physically and mentally as well. The reason why our characters change and we tend to do things that are, unheard of as Christians, it's because we are not mentally fit to be able to resist those type of temptations, right? We are not physically fit to resist, the body into not engaging into certain activities. I'll give you an example. My instructor taught me that I am only training I am only learning to fight, not to fight. I don't know if that makes sense. So I learned martial arts so that I can maintain peace. Because once you know what your violent act or your anger or your rage can do to another person, you will not even touch that person. Hence why even to date, I've never fought, outside of the ring, because I know the magnitude or the pain that I might cause to another person. So it's high. I mean, it's a very deep thing to digest.
All right. Thank you so much, Simon. I just feel threatened because you know the pain. It's better, man.
No, not in that sense. In a sense that umuntu naye angamshaya ngoba phela umuntu. So I've done martial arts, but when you are angry, you don't know what you can do both to yourself and to me. The damages might be worse than, So what I'm saying is that the concept of pain, the concept of, of that brutal activity, what you can cause to someone else, it's very it's very
Yeah.
bad. So it's nicer when you know the limits to that. You
All
just
right. Thank you so much.
avoid such.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Listen, a couple of good things and powerful themes are coming up here. One of the questions that came in here, and this is coming from me as well, but not necessarily directed to you, but something we can think about. Van Hetten spoke about the link between martial arts and its foundation of spirituality. Then modern day tactics of exercising have also bring the idea of meditation into all of this. And then collectively we're speaking about issues like yoga, right? Something that we need to think about as we go along. Is that acceptable Christian? Is that an acceptable form of exercise? Then also I wanted us to as a team, as a family, to bring concepts to do with how many of us here have tried to engage on a journey of changing their diet and also becoming more physically active. If you're like that, like me, there you are. Changing your diet and also becoming physically active, right? So I think it's almost all of us. Number two, what has been the major hurdle in achieving those particular goals? And you have seen this as the year starts this year. I want to lose 10 kg already as I speak, my leader. I want to lose 10 kgs already. Some people will say I don't have anything to lose, but I've got a lot to lose. 10 kgs, I'm gonna lose it. Like a lot of people started the year with many resolutions. This year I'm gonna eat less fat. I'm gonna eat less sugar. I'm gonna going to do it. And they failed along the way, and they're here on this platform. We need to find ways of answering those questions. Then also bring ways, and I'm seeing 3 hands now, let's get ready to talk. Bring ways of saying, how can the average worker in South Africa, who now probably is half stuck at home because of COVID-19 and doing online work, working virtually, how can we help each other? And also, what kind of foods can we take? Should we take? Let's give more detailed information along those lines. 3 hands. I'm going to give Zoyisile, Leander, and Van Hetten. Let's start talking within ourselves. Let's start talking within the platform. Ashley, I know you're there. You've got your question there, and we'll take it up from there. Okay, here we go. Zoyisile.
Okay, guys, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I'm not the boy, I'm the brother, so don't be surprised.
Okay.
Okay, it's okay.
Sure. Okay, I just wanted to add on. Someone asked about, he was talking about defending yourself now with martial arts. I feel like defending yourself now is not a problem. If you are doing martial arts for defense, it's not a problem. Why am I saying so? Because even in the Bible, Israel now used to face like some other nations they used to fight. Though they believed in God now, but still more, they used to have soldiers. Those soldiers, they were trained to defend themselves. They were trained to defend Israel. Defending yourself doesn't substitute Jesus, no. God is already there. When you train yourself to defend yourself, then God will take control. For example, God said, I will provide for you. Doesn't mean that you should sit home and expect the food to come from nowhere or maybe like manna. No, it doesn't work like that. When God said, I will provide for you, when I have to wake up and work, then God will do the rest. So defending yourself is not a problem. We are not substituting Jesus. No. Israel used to fight with a lot of kingdoms. Now they were defending themselves. They used to have a lot of soldiers. David was a warrior. He used to defend himself. He didn't substitute what. And the other thing I was talking about the spirit. We talk martial arts involve the spirit. What? Martial arts, whether it's karate, kung fu, whether you're doing boxing or mixed martial arts, there's no problem. For example, Tina, we have nyangas now. You know the nyanga, what they do. Those people, they just know trees. Like God created these trees now. There are some trees that if you're having headache now, our grandfathers, they used to take that tree and give you, and when you'll be fine. But the devil is taking advantage of that knowledge and putting the spirit in it. The tree itself now doesn't have a problem. But the devil is lying to us now, as if maybe there are some spiritual powers that will heal you. There's no any spiritual power that will heal you, just the tree. You see? So same applies with the karate. They are putting as if maybe there is the spirit. There's no spirit. You just go there, train physically. You know that if someone punches with the right punch when you broke like this, that's how it happens. There's nothing maybe that you're fighting with spirit. The devil is taking advantage of these exercises and putting some spiritual ideas. But otherwise, there's nothing like that. So train karate, defend yourself. Otherwise, so it's possible to bomb.
All right, all right. I hear the boys are all about karate and karate here. All right, beautiful. Let's keep going. Let's have other alignments. I hear you very much so. You're scaring us, Tina. Tina, we are not karate people here. So, Tina, we are those types of guys from primary school. Always ran away from fights. Like they always run away from fights. But yeah, it's a good one here that we're having. Ngolo, go ahead, my man. You're already unmuted. Go ahead.
My brother, they was saying,
Yanda.
Bazokubamba. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Bazokubamba. So, ungafuni ukubanjwa. I just wanted to realign the purpose of the topic for the day. And I think brother Gift G also touched on it because we typing Saicabang while I was raising my head. Saints of the Most High, the intention of the day is let us realign ourselves to pursue physical activity, particularly the one that will challenge us to the extremes of our physical comfort, right? We're not confining it to karate, we're not confining it to mixed martial arts. I don't like boxing, I hate boxing. Do you know why? Because I feel you know, when you hit somebody on the face and the head, you are doing brain damage. That's my philosophy. I feel honestly, how do you go and hit a person and then the brain continues to work functional, right? But I've taken up martial arts because Usaimon Kubeka, he's my personal trainer. He's teaching me the art of killing multiple birds with only one stone. Killing physical fitness, I'm being stretched. I've started picking up weights. I've started lifting weights. Now I have to reconsider my diet. Now I have to stretch myself and take the pain so the body can get more volume, right? So what I'm trying to say essentially is that we are not speaking mixed martial arts karate only. There's cycling, Basalwan, right? Which is a challenge on its own. Lisa, when you get a chance to speak, please tell us about your aspirations to move into cycling. You need to be physically fit, stretch yourself, go to the extremes, eat well, buy a bike, climb up mountains, go in a Cape Detour, do those things. There's swimming. Some of us do not know how to swim. I do not know how to swim. I want to learn how to swim, you know? So take that extreme, take that route and follow that route and say, you know what? I want to go and learn how to swim. Not only for the glamour of it, but also to be stretched. There is what we call jogging. So I'm trying to raise different dynamics around. Let's not take it only from an angle of Siashaya and it's painful. And by the way, when he's raising that, he's saying he's glad he's never had to fight outside of the ring. For what it's worth, I've actually felt his do I call it his fury while he was training me in a way, like I've been stretched to that extent, which, you know what, I felt, which if this was more intentional, I would have been moored big time. So for what it's worth, he's glad that he hasn't never had to fight anybody outside of the ring, and I can attest to that. So as much as Umta is saying it intimidates me, I've gotten a glimpse into that. So let me realign what we are trying to achieve today. What we are trying to achieve is that let's pursue exercise, but let it be informed. Let's read about it. Let's understand what are the dangers of going too extreme. What are the dangers of being too thin? What are the dangers of being too strong? What are the dangers of not doing this? What are the dangers of doing that? And let it be backed by information. So that's my 2 cents for now, and over to you, my lady.
All right. Thank you so much for that one, Leander, as we go on with our lesson. And we're learning much about what we need to do, aligning ourselves with physical health. And I think one of the questions that was posed here and is not even I think it was a comment from Sister Isabel, and she happens to be a nurse in Botswana. And she says that one of her ways in which, and this is something that I would have wanted us also to talk about, how our journeys through our aligning, our journeys through attaining physical health. Simon has talked about his, what is yours? What have you done? Sister Isabel says, stop eating pap and meat. Stop eating pap and meat. She says she did that and started walking to work and lost 10 kgs. Stop eating pap and meat. Walk to work, lose 10 kg. And that's something that probably I need to start thinking about as well. Van Heiden, I want to give you a hand now. Let's keep talking within ourselves. What is your journey? What has been your hurdles? Where have you failed? How many times have you tried and failed? How can we keep going in this particular journey? And how can we, and I love something here, Simon and Uliana, the support system. And I think Simon, you need to come on that. The need for a support system. I mean, if you're going to run on your own, I do running as well. I want to show you. I've got my shoes here, Bazarani.
Come on now.
So that you know, I ran.
Come
hallelujah,
on now.
I ran, right? I can't find my shirt and my shorts and stuff, but yes, this is amongst my clothes there. But I ran as well. But if you don't have a support system, then you're going to fail, just like in every aspect of our Christianity. If there is no support system, sometimes the burdens are too much. Van Heiden, go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Mta. I wanted to say that, you know, exercise, we have to be well-rounded individuals. Sometimes I feel like we are unbalanced or imbalanced. Most of us are couch potatoes, and it's not healthy for us. We know this, but unfortunately, practicing what we know, we are falling short. All of us know that we need to sleep enough, we need to drink enough water, we need to be exercising, but the actual practice is where we fall short. And when it comes to exercise, I'm going to speak for myself that I walk every day. Like, the only day that I don't walk is Sunday, but I walk from, like today, after this session, my husband and I are going for a walk. I walk daily except for Sunday. And with physical exercise, it doesn't have to be painful. It just has to be consistent. So if you're going to walk consistently for at least 30 minutes. That's how long you need. It should be a brisk walk, so not like as if you're going to the shops or something, but it should actually raise your heart rate and a little bit of sweat. Do it consistently. And exercise, guys, will help us with stress. You know, COVID has brought a lot of depression. It has brought a lot of stress because of isolation and all of that. So we need to get out and get some air and get the blood circulating. It's good for us, not to defend ourselves necessarily, but your immune system as well. Right now there's COVID. We need to boost our immune system. And one of the fastest ways to boost your immune system is to become mobile, to exercise. And if it's cold, like I don't like walking when it's cold. You exercise indoors. So running up and down the corridors of your house, skipping, jumping, all of those things, keeping us moving will help a lot. So that's my 2 cents.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to give over to Simon as well to speak about. Thank you so much, Nozi, for that one. You said your husband and you, which is a support system. I'm going to give over to Simon to speak about why it's essential to have a support system. Then I'm going to read a couple of why it's essential to have a support system. Simon, get ready for that. I'm going to read a couple of comments right here that have to do with things that we can do. Right? Nozi spoke about walking. Brisk walking. Brisk walking is not lazy walking. It's intentional walking. It's walking like someone is following you behind. You can see that you can feel an increase in your heart rate and all that. So walk, 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 walk. She says for at least 30 minutes a day. And she doesn't walk on Sundays. That's beautiful. Thank you for those powerful testimonies here. Pap and meat, we just learned about that. Definitely a no. And then someone is saying to us here, drink plenty of water and eat fruits and vegetables. Drink plenty of water and eat fruits and vegetables. Something that she says as well is lift weights, do cardio, plenty of water, and try to keep it for at least, try to do this whole lift weights, do cardio for at least 4 to 5 days a week. I'm available to teach or guide anyone who wants to start. Beautiful kind of things that we need here. That Ubuklebendalo is available to this. Mina, when I started off with running and blah, 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 blah. It was last year during COVID, right? There was a rise in exercising as if we're all going to war. exercise. I'm a video on YouTube, to the left, to the right, up, down. Everyone was involved in all of that as if we're going to war. Where is it right now? Kubeka, take us through about what is it, why it's essential to have a support system before I give over to Skumbuzo as we try to glide towards a beautiful part of our lesson. My man, go ahead.
Thanks so much, Leader. Without a support system, you cannot do this. To be honest with you, it'll be impossible to do that. So, how I motivate myself is that I listen to a lot of talks, right? Especially I like watching positive content, right? Content which is beneficial to my mental state, because most of the time, unfortunately, even when I go to gym, Leander will tell you, I do things that normal people don't do at gym, because when they go for either weightlifting and whatnot, but the type of way I gym, it's so different that people can't help but notice or look, to see. So how I motivate myself. I make sure that at least I've got someone who I'm training with, just that, I can get that positive mindset. Because sometimes, to be quite honest, I do not wake up every day being motivated to go to gym. The body tells you that, dude, you trained Izolo, why are you going there? Just relax for today, also you want to But having someone to constantly checking up on you, we have to train, and that actually helps you to be motivated and end up going to gym. And there's someone who touched on a very important point here. The reason why you need motivation is that you need your body to start getting into a habit of wanting to do this out of its own free will. So motivation becomes of vital importance, especially when you are a beginner, when you are starting to achieve this goal, right? So you can draw motivation for watching people you want, watching people you want to be like in terms of fitness. That can give you motivation, because other people are doing this, other people are waking up at 5 a.m. and going to gym. When you say you want to be physically fit, but you're still sleeping at 8, what type of thing? So doing that, watching other people who are doing the same things you want to do, reading about the things that you want to do, and also having a circle of friends that are like-minded. Guys, the power of influence. Influence is something else. I've done so many bad things in life, generally as a human being, because of the type of circle of friends I was surrounded by, And I've also done so many good things in life as well, because of the type of people I've surrounded myself with, So we, as human beings, we always exchange energy. We're always exchanging, ideas, that ultimately end up making you, making your character, So in essence, what I'm saying is that you can literally, plan to have a training partner. That's the only way you're gonna accomplish that. Why? Because the body will not be used to you doing this consistently every day. So it's not a habit as yet. So for you to reach that point, you need to find people that are like-minded. And as Leander said, I'm a personal trainer. If you want to get into that space, I'm here for that.
All right, thank you so much for that one. Okay, I've got 3 hands here, and I'm gonna give them in the order that the Skumbuzo, you're gonna be the last one because you've spoken and you're a team member as well. So you'll be the last one. I'm gonna give over to Ukanyile. I'm gonna give over to Mtabisi after that. Then we're gonna come up with Skumbuzo. The elephant in the room again has to do again with our diet, what we eat. How is the typical person in the 21st century eating? Udla ini. What are you eating, or rather, what is eating you at the end of the day? Your health is definitely your wealth. Let's speak about, again, diet, issues to do with things that we have in the 21st century that we need to avoid and how we can do that. Somebody here in the platform has been battling with losing weight. Somebody in the platform wants to gain weight. Actually, is 48 kilograms. He's a very small guy, underweight, to be honest. And so therefore he's trying to gain weight. How can you help him on that aspect? What can you do? There are other people who are overweight who are saying, I'm trying to lose this weight that I have here. What are essential things to do? And we've come up with so many things on TV. They tell you, put on a belt. The belt that vibrates on you, doesn't work sometimes. For everyone, but not you. What can we do to help each other get the best of what we need to be physically fit? Ududu, put it across. I'm going to give over to Kangile. You're gone now. I wanted to unmute you. Please lift up your hand again if you still want to say something, right? Ududu speaks about something essential as I wait for Kangile. Yes, there you are. Kangile, I'm unmuting you there, right? Before you come through, can I read a comment by Ududu? I just want to make sure that we get this on track. Ududu says to us, when we are not taking care, when we're not taking care of our physical health and wellness, we are essentially not taking care of the temple of God. That's deep right there. As Adventists, we believe in evangelism. How is God going to use us to that work when we are not fit? We speak of the last days all the time. How are we going to survive such times when we are not fit, Bazalwane? So here's something that every church that's opening up should start doing. Umuntu engekho fit, akabuye enkonzweni. If you're not fit, you're not coming to church. Get yourself fit, then start coming to church. Simple. Because how are we going to do anything if we're not fit? Yes, please.
Thank you. I have a question on diet, the big elephant in the room. I'm asking for help. This has been a hurdle in my journey. You're not being fully in charge of your diet. So you don't buy your own food. You don't buy your own groceries. So how do you ensure that you can have a healthy and balanced diet? And I mean, you're an Adventist and you want to follow, a very good Adventist diet, but sometimes that diet is very imbalanced. I know a lot of people with health issues because of our recommended diet, because it's not balanced. So how do we handle that?
All right, very essential question that's coming to all of us here. Kangile is asking a very beautiful one. So let's keep the answers coming through. How do we maintain that? Mtabisi, you're next, and I'll give to Skumbuzo. Then we discuss within our platform as we glide towards the conclusions of our meta here. Physical health alignment. Ta?
Hey, Ntwana, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Interesting discussion here we're having. Just a few points. As Adventists, or rather as humans, we really need to be healthy. We need to be physically active. There is no point in you being a couch potato, sitting on a desk at work from 7 to 5. Bonama series, bonama movie till 11, 12. Suyolala. And mind you, 17, you're eating junk food, njani. It doesn't really help us. We need really to be active, but in majority, we are lazy. We are lazy. We always look for shortcuts. That's why we end up looking for belts and those other shanties. We just need to try and make time every day. We do some physically extraneous activity, something that tries to have us grinding. The second point is I really want us. I'll take us a bit back to I joined a bit late. We're talking about our mixed martial arts and Jani Lapa. We really need to be careful. I'm saying this with a lot of respect, a lot of tact. We really need to be careful on some of these things. There's a quote that I like so much. It says, "Beware of gifts from the Greeks." Beware of gifts from the Greeks. You know the story of Troy? They left a gift by the gate, right? And they ended up. We all know the story. I will not get into it, but the way that, or the story behind our martial arts, our karate, kundalini, and all that, ladies and gentlemen, we really need to be careful. I'll quickly give you references where you can go check. Most of us, we've got internet access. Go and check Eric Wilson, an SDA, world-renowned. He has got experience in martial arts. He was very, very high up there. He ended up having his own dojo. 45 years of experience in mixed in that world, right? We can go check him. Our own Adventist News Network did an article on him. You can go, I'm trying to think of the name. I'm just trying to think of the name. There's this ministry called LED Love, LED Light. They did some work with him. They did some videos with him. Just go on that. Little Light Studios or LED Light. Go and check out his videos there. Also, Mauko Napo LED or Little Light Studios. Also look at, there's some videos that were posted about a couple of months ago on yoga. These guys have got a lot of content, guys. Go and check out effects. What happens when you get into this world of Eastern mysticism? Just maybe to sum up what you get there. Eastern mysticism, that's the in thing in the Western world. Eastern mysticism, it's really coming out to the Western world. And unbeknown to some of us, we are really getting into that world and we are picking up things from that world that are contrary to the Bible. It's spiritualism, Eastern mysticism. For instance, let me give you a typical example. How does somebody walk on coals? We know ungabamba umlilo uyacha, but we find somebody who is in that world walking on coals. How do you really explain that? All right. Karate, when they are training lapa dojo, right? You first bow, and when you're bowing, do you even know what you are saying when you're bowing to the other person? Guys, we need to really look at some of these things that we are doing. I really didn't want to come and spoil. I almost logged out when you're speaking about this, but something just said, I said, God, I don't want to mess up lesson Mantula and be the guy who spoils the broth. But guys, we really need to be careful of some of these things that we're speaking about. The devil is really after us. This is one area where a lot of Adventists have been hooked. The Eastern mysticism philosophy is really coming out, and it's really coming out to get us. And we're just doing some of these things. We don't even know what is happening. Like, look at yoga. Look at the money that is yoga, currently yoga in America. It's more than $5 billion industry currently in America as we speak. But that's Eastern mysticism, and it's in the church. Our yoga mat, yoga, those pants, spandex and whatnot. Another person that you can look out, it's this preacher, Eric Knott. He talks a lot about Eastern mysticism, about yoga, about karate, and all those. These are guys that have been there, that have been doing these things. Even I'll give you a tip like this. It's running out of my head. There is this procedure that is done, that is now being recommended by hospitals a lot. It's running out of my head, but I'll give you another one. Hypnotism. Hospitals are recommending that, and you find Adventists doing that. But it all comes from Eastern mysticism. Guys, we really need to be careful. Go and do your own research. I'm here just giving you sources. Go and check for yourself. I'll give you the names again. Eastern mysticism. Go and check out Elder Eric Wilson. For ease of reference, just go to Little Light Studios. Little Light Studios. They always post content every Friday. Go and check them out. But our videos are on they were done. They were done last year. They were done 2-3 years. But just go on their channel on YouTube, scroll, or you can even go to Vermo, Patreon. You find a lot of their content. Scroll back over the years. They've got a lot of content on that, on yoga, on Eastern mysticism. Or you can also go to. He's got his own channel, Elder Eric Wilson. You can also go to his channel. You find a lot of information. Go to the last one that I told you about, Carlton Knott. He's got his own channel. You can either go on Facebook or you can go on YouTube. You'll find him there. or you can go to his ministry
Mta,
page. It's
Mta, you know what you
closed.
can do, Mta? To do this, sorry to cut you off. Write them for us here. Write them for us. The names, everything. Write them for us here, because people will forget as usual. Just write them on the chat there. All those kind of things. And I feel like Mta, Kubeka is just burning where he is, and he wants to say something in line with that. I'll give to Kubeka, then Skumbuzo. Lisa, you had your hand up as well. Skumbuzo, you had your hand up. Going through. And Tab, please write that down for us. Thank you so much for that comment. And you did not spoil anything, my man. We need such comments. We need to learn. Let's go.
Sure.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much, my elder Mta, for that. I'm speaking here as someone who's done this, like for years, who's done this. And like I said from the beginning, right, that the issue here is self-defense. Right, we are not promoting any individual to go out there and pursue any form of martial arts. But what we are saying, and what I am saying, is that you need to have skills to protect yourself once you leave this Zoom conference today. You need to be having skills to protect yourself, right? And hence why I'm saying, Uti, from my personal journey, I saw art, martial art, for what it is. And I decided, okay, cool, since I know what this is, let me take what I can use, what I need as an individual and also as an Adventist Christian, right? I was not naive, to say, okay, cool, let me also learn the spiritual, knowing very well what the Bible says, or rather what and also what the spirit of prophecy is saying around such form of art, So my brother, what I'm saying to say, we are not promoting any form of art. I mean, for example, if you do, let's take yoga, for example. Most of the exercises that guys that are doing yoga, spirituality aside, my brother, the exercise, some of the exercises they use are daily exercises that are used by anyone who goes to the gym and train. Understand? What I'm saying is that let us try by all means to find means, or rather tools, that can help protect our well-being, both mentally and physically. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right?
All right, thank you so much, Simon, for that one. I think you just told us that let's pick what is beneficial to us, because it's not all bad out there. And you just put across that some of the things that are done there are actually something that are done in the gyms that are actually recommended in line with what we need to do as Christians. Thank you so much. So we pick the essentials. But yes, Nta, we understand the dangers, and please do type again things that maybe someone has gone overboard, has gone to the other side of things. This could be very helpful for us to learn more about what not to do in line with in terms of Eastern mysticism. All right, Takalani, I want to give you a hand, but I want to give to Ukskumbuzo first. As we glide towards the end and talk about why it's important for us to be physically healthy. For me, I've never seen the link between Christians and us being fit until recently. The fact that it is as much as it's essential to read my Bible, it is essential to run. And if someone can help me out with a quotation from Ellen White, you can just put it on Google because we're still busy here, where she speaks about time not being wasted when someone is engaged in physical activity or physical exercise. Please, someone, if you can look for that one day, Google it and then put it on the platform where it's coming from. She speaks about time not being lost or time not being wasted when someone is doing physical activity. Something that we should all know. Skumbuzo, Takalani after that. School, go ahead, my man.
Hello. Can you hear?
Sure, boy.
Okay. There's a lot, but let me just try to cut it short. I used to do the evangelism, like this campaign, I'm a crusades here and there, so that maybe during the day we'll be doing door to door, and then Tambama, it's all the screaming and calling people to Jesus. Now we then realize that the only effective campaign is when we do the door to door during the day. If we only
put up flyers, call people to come, invite people to come through the flyers and start making noise during the night. Like people, they don't really come. But like if you go door to door, invite them, talk with them and all that, then people would come. Now, here was the challenge that like you have to motivate the church to those who are not working during the week to come with us door to door. Now you find that only 1/4, maybe even less, of the people are physically fit. They can only go with you door to door. The 3/4 of the church, bakhala ngamadolo, some they've got heart diseases. Like you wonder, Adventists are sick of these diseases, you know, and they are physically unfit. Now, so the first thing that we are supposed to be physically fit is because we are supposed to bring good news to the world. Because there's a verse somewhere in Isaiah that says, "Blessed are the feet of those who bring good news." Somewhere in Isaiah. So the first thing, we as Adventists are supposed to be physically fit. Well, you can use martial arts to attain that. You can use whatever you can do boxing, you know, whatever you can do for you to be fit. And also, running is not recommended. Walking is better than running when you are just doing it for your fitness. But if maybe you want to join Soweto marathon, whatever, you can run, you know. But like if you want to be fit, just walk 30 minutes per day and have your water on Tambama. That is well recommended. Now, the second thing that I want to share with you is that the devil wants to control our minds through our bodies. And then God wants to control our bodies through our minds. So in order for God to be able to reach your mind, you must have a physical body. Remember, the mind uses the physical organ, which is the brain. Now, if you're not fit physically, your brain is not fit. Therefore, God cannot speak to you. God cannot use you effectively. He can speak to you for your own salvation, but in terms of Him using you effectively, you cannot reach the maximum that, or your maximum potential, because you are not physically fit. Now, what the devil does is that, in fact, God wants you to be physically fit so that He can speak to you clearly and use you to your potential. And then the devil, what he does, he wants to destroy that cycle of you having physical body, so that he knows that if you are fit physically, your mind will be able to respond to God better or quicker. So what he does, it destroys. He wants you to be physically unfit and mentally unfit, so that God cannot speak to you, you know. Now, let me give you, maybe it's unproven statistics. I've just seen it through my evangelistic journeys, that if you go preach in the outskirts, like Emma Village, Emma Kaya, people, they respond to God, to the gospel, better than in the townships. One reason is that they understand, like when you talk of God as a creator and teach them about nature, they understand better, because the people in the villages, they're close to nature than people in the cities, you know. So the devil wants us take people from the villages and then attracts them to the cities, so that they don't understand fully the nature of God. And then when you preach to them, they will have all sorts of ideas against God, you know. So the devil wants to destroy us physically, and then if it destroys our physiology, which means the brain is also not fit, and then the mind is not going to respond to God better. Now, there's a guy who just commented about the bad of yoga and all that. Well, it's very bad. If you see how it was started, it's very bad, but there are also good things we can get from that. It's just like wearing a suit. It's not biblical, but it helps to cover the body, you know. And it also boosts the immune system of someone else who feels better when he's wearing a suit. And they can even preach better when they're wearing a suit than when they're wearing a t-shirt. So as long as you are covered, that's the whole point. You don't really, we're not saying martial arts, you should go to do martial arts all the way. You know, myself, I stopped it, but I still continue with the practices that I've learned. But there is that spiritual side of it. We are not talking about that, but we're talking about the physical fitness. It also helps you to be a better Christian, to have also a better understanding when it comes to God. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Composer, for that one. All right, we're gliding towards the end of our service, and that's very good. Tekalani's got something to say, and then Uliand, I'm also going to give him an opportunity, and then also Simon will come through, and I know he's got something to say, maybe also last words, deliverables, as it gives us what we need to do. Can we also speak about questioning Kanyile? And because I'm the anchor here, I need to make sure that all questions are answered. Speak about questioning Kanyile, where she asked, how can one solve a situation where they are not in control of the diet? We're talking about a typical child in the family where you eat what's being eaten. So you have no choice over, you're going to eat this or that. How can we help each other in that aspect of students at school, at varsity? The money is just enough to buy noodles, baked beans. What do we do? What are the alternatives to good health at affordable prices? Because again, one of the things that we in physical health alignment that's always being talked about is healthy. And I'm not talking about vegetarianism. I'm talking about healthy food. Health is expensive. That's one of the things that always comes through. Healthy food looks to be expensive. What are the alternatives? How can we help each other while we also speak about physical exercise? Takalani, go ahead.
Thanks and good afternoon. Sorry, I joined the discussion late, but I got interested when you guys are talking about staying healthy and active. So what came into my mind was the club that is already there in the church, the Adventist Athletics Club. So I'm not sure how many knows about it, but the membership is more prevalent in Gauteng and other provinces. So those people that wants to be active, I think it is an alternative to be a member of the club. They cater for the beginners up until the elites. They cater for running, walking, bicycle riding, and hiking in some places. So I think if one can take that advantage, it can also help. Besides staying active, it also helps a lot in terms of spiritual development, because we have got people that are assigned to spiritually uplift members. And also, maybe to answer, somebody says the membership is closed. As far as I know, membership is open throughout the year, unless if you didn't have the right person that you can talk to. But membership, as far as I know, is open throughout the year. It's a matter of contacting the executive in places where you are. Maybe that will also assist. Just in summary, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Brother Takalan, for that. Now, in 230 conversations, we strike to make sure that we give out as much information as possible. It's called the Adventist Athletics Club. Brother Takalan, don't mute yourself. How can we get in touch with that? For someone who says, okay, I didn't know about that. I love to be part of that club. I love to go hiking. I love accountability. I love to have a support system. How do we get in touch with them? What do we do? Do they have a website? Do they have a number? What do we do? If you can write down the information for us here, if you are comfortable with that, would love that. Is that in good order with you, my kind sir?
It is fine with me, and yes, I'm here.
Okay, how can we get in touch with the Adventist Athletics Club so that we can run away not just from wickedness, but also from effect? Tell us how we can do some more. How can we get in touch with them?
Okay, with the club, you can either be a member at the provincial level or maybe or national. So in Gauteng, we've got a club that is basically meant for people in Gauteng North and Gauteng South, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm in Limpopo, so I'm not having the information as we speak now. Maybe I can just give that to you. Maybe after some few minutes, then you will you'll distribute that, or I can give you one of the people who is in the executive. You can contact the person directly, and then they can give you all the information that you want. But that is not a secret. They are looking for members to be part of the club because it helps the church as well. I can do that maybe in some few minutes time, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's fine. Please do that in a few minutes time. As soon as you're done, let us know. Someone Kubeka just put across the idea that he's also a personal trainer. Did I know that? No, I didn't. That's someone that I can use as well. Leander has been talking about going to the gym. I think 2 weeks back, after the Sabbath, there was like, he's going to the gym. In my head, I'm like, bro, you just spent the whole day talking. Go and sleep. But he says, you know what? I'm packing my bags and I'm going to the gym. Such motivation. Me now, I was busy looking for the next biggest series to watch after a very long Sabbath. These are the kind of people that we need. 3 hands are up. Someone get ready to give us some short aqua patting. Come up with that. Can you also answer a question that can? Now, I promised to give Leander, you're a part team. Then can I give to Google N to take through? Then you come through, then off and head in. Because these are new hands that are coming up. Guzo, go ahead.
Good afternoon. So in my case,
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sister.
Yes. So in my case, I'm way underweight, and I recently decided to just stop exercising, to do any physical activity, because I feel like the more I exercise, I'm going to lose weight, and as it is, I'm already underweight. So I want to know that what physical activity would you recommend? And because right now I'm just relying on my day-to-day activity, not that I decide and be intentional to say I'm doing any physical activity.
Right, that's a good question from Kugu N, who's saying that she is naturally underweight, and taking any physical activity will reduce the weight that she already has. And how can we help her on that? Someone can get ready with the answer to that one, or anyone else through. Ngolok, go ahead, my man.
All right. I almost promoted the other brand, that one with the life at the end. But in any event, I was going to say, this is my parting shot. I'm wrapping it all up. I'm bringing it all in. My parting shots. Let me start with what was the most recent comment? Okay, fine. Yeah, I think it's encouraging when there are people who are doing stuff that you'll be like, wow, who does that? For instance, like Mang Sugumala, after we're done with this, I didn't have leg day this week, so I have to go to gym and do my leg day. Simon is the one who's been pushing me the most good. Never push a week without a leg day. So it's important when you're looking up to somebody. This is very encouraging. So you also keep the consistency going. All right. So like I was saying, let me wrap it up. Astaligo school. Instead of a gun, choose physical activity, choose self-defense techniques, grow health-wise, grow your muscle instead of going to buy a gun. The muscle cannot compete with the gun, but don't choose a gun, choose a muscle, choose a skill, choose an ability to be able to defend than to use a gun. All right. And then as I move on as well, I wanted to touch on my brother, Mtabisi. Mtabisi, is it Mtabisi? I believe it's Mtabisi. Mtabisi, thank you for the admonition. Thank you for the admonition. As you were saying, let's be careful. Can I also encourage that let's be careful not to instill fear where there might not necessarily be, okay? So like you were saying, I was appreciating that everything that you were saying was backed by solid evidence and information and reference sources. But in light of us admonishing, which is good, let's also not, instill fear where there might be nothing to fear in the first place. All right, and then my parting shots are just to encourage everybody here. Let's get into the culture or cultivate the culture of understanding that for you to reach your goals, sometimes you need to spend money, okay? This is not a overall blanket answer for everyone, okay? It might not be for everyone, but sometimes when you want to reach your goals, it will require you that you actually spend money for that membership. It actually requires you to spend money on apparel for whatever you will be training for. If it's cycling, if it's swimming, if it's whatever. So to a certain extent, you would be challenged financially. So brace yourself for that, and just enjoy the ride and say, you know what, I'm taking up a membership as of Funimalengaga. I'm going to work hard to budget for it. I'm going to take up a membership. I'm going to take up a trainership from a personal trainer who's going to require that I spend money. So prepare yourself. In other instances, it doesn't require much. You just have to make a decision. But in other instances, you have to be financially, ready to actually put money into whatever you want to achieve. And you look back in 6 months' time, you say, you know what, flip. I don't regret a single penny I paid for 1, 2, 3. All right. And then the last comment is, we thank God for this platform, and may you continue to organize us more speakers, 2:30 conversation. And yeah, thank you so much, Lila.
Amen and amen. And thank you for being part of the team as well, Leander, on that. Here's a comment from, before I give to Van Heiden, Van Heiden, the quotation that I requested. And before I read it again, I'm worried about my ladies. I think exercise is not a male-based thing. Lisa, you had your hand up, and I feel like our ladies are not saying much about it. One time, Simon, we had a lesson on body shaming. That was last year. We spoke about how people body shame people that are of a plump nature, and how we can, people that are tiny could just put across like that, something like that. We spoke about that body shaming. I don't know how we can be able to get, maybe we can also have women talking. Lisa, thank you so much. Your hand is up now. Women talking, telling us their experiences, their fears, because sometimes when it comes to these things of physical health, whether it's diet or whatever the case could be, it looks like it's excusable on the man. Apparently, cover is one of the new things in fashion, which is not, right? And women seem to shy away from, and when it comes to women, it's something that is of embarrassment. Yesterday, I went with my friends for swimming from around 3 p.m. and we wanted to swim for 3 hours. And by 4 o'clock, they wanted to go. And I said to them, but you guys, ni wiki, man. Ni wiki now, still feeling the fire. We ended up leaving, but so these kind of things. And one of my friends was a female, I was saying, no, but those kind of things. So how can we help each other, even as women, to pull through? Because a woman has lifted up a hand, Van Heiden, let me give Lisa first, but I want to read this from Ellen White. The time spent in physical exercise is not lost. Aye. What do the gym fanatics say? Hallelujah. The time spent in physical exercise is not lost. The student who is continually poring over his books while he takes but little exercise in the open air does himself an injury. A proportionate exercise of all organs and faculties of the body is essential to the best work of each. Look at the link, the body and the brain. When the brain, I'm reading this quickly, when the brain is constantly taxed while the other organs of the living machinery are inactive, there's loss of strength, physical and mental. The physical system is robbed of its healthy tone. The mind loses its freshness and vigor, and morbid excitability, listen to this one, and morbid excitability is the result. I'll read this last part. The physical system is robbed of its healthy tone. The effects of not being physically aligned, of not having physical wellness. The mind loses its freshness and vigor, and morbid excitability is a result. pH 145, 30.33. 3 hands are up. After that, Mr. Kubeka, take us through. I'm going to have Lisa. Lisa, go ahead.
Afternoon, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you for the powerful session that we just had on health and it's physical alignment. I so wish this platform had a voice note, because I would have wanted to contribute to many other comments comments and questions that were there at the beginning. Unfortunately, by the time I had my hand up, someone had already tackled that already. However, I'm just going to be brief. 2016 found me 85 kgs, And I went to the gym, nothing happened. I pumped in money, loyally going to the gym, nothing happened. For years, I pumped in money into the gym, nothing happened. Fast track to last year during COVID. Just when we were at level 5, I think that was May, yeah. So I sat in the house and I just took a walk. When I took a walk, I just felt my heart was heavy. My heart had been heavy for a very long time. So I realized just taking a 100-meter walk or a brisk walk would make me feel so exhausted. My heart is pumping fast and I can barely speak or do anything. So I decided I'll engage into jump rope skipping. So I started skipping the rope. And every day, my thighs were sore, my legs were sore, my back, my stomach, everything was aching, you know. Fast track, a month later, my body was actually lighter. I could move it. And I decided, no, man, I'm going to add something else onto it. I started brisk walking a 2 kilometer. Before I knew it, I was able to jog 8 kilometers in an hour, you know. So I'm coming to the importance of health and the importance of what we take in. As I was exercising and engaging more and more and adding so many other variations of exercise onto my workouts, I realized that what I was eating was a mess, you know. I reduced on the fries, I reduced on the Russians and everything else. But let me just say something. What I realized in all this, I just want to answer Kanyile when she speaks about not having the control and the budgets of the groceries or what is bought at home. It's very important as Adventists or as Christians or as human beings to be health and temperate. When you're being temperate, you're controlling the amount of each and every other thing that you engage in. That's the default of so many people. That's the downfall of so many of us. We become too extreme. So when you take in your bab, take in a portion that you need at that moment. When you take in whatever, take the portion that is advised for you to take. Don't overindulge, whether it's the exercise, whether it's the intake of food, whether it's the reading, whether it's, too much of everything will bring you down. So it is important that in everything that we indulge in, if it's the exercise, if it's the food intake, whatever is bought at home, try to find a way to work around on the amount of food that you intake and exercise. Before you know it, when you finally have the control over the budget, then you can buy the things that you like, you know. So just to everybody out there, funny how on my fitness journey, I'm not losing any weight. I'm actually gaining weight, but the clothes are shredding off me. If I get onto the scale, it's a nightmare. I'm now above 90, but I thought I've lost weight, but I realized, no, man, it's my bone mass, and I'm developing muscle. So sometimes it's not really about the weight loss, it's about what you have decided to do and how disciplined you are in doing that. When we talk about discipline, we're talking about you saying every day at 5:30, I'm out of the house. And I'm going to do that for a good 21 days. From 21 days, you're challenging yourself to a 90-day challenge. Once you do that for a good 90 days, trust me, day 93, you're not going to wake yourself up. Your body will get you out of the house.
Yes.
And by that time, it's already a lifestyle. It's instilled in you. You're doing it without effort. You're doing it because you know what comes with doing it and what comes with not doing it, because you feel the difference. So guys, I would have loved to comment on people that were talking about the spirituality and following the different forms of exercise. Guys, let's just don't go extreme. Let's just keep it at we're exercising because that's what we need to do. The rest, you follow swimming. If you follow swimming, I swim as well. If you follow swimming, the greatest swimmers are people that probably when you bring them on an Adventist platform, they're questionable as well. So are you going to stop swimming because of that? Do you understand? So I feel at this point, pick an exercise, follow a diet, and enjoy it. And just be kind to yourself, discipline yourself. Because when you're disciplined, you will know even when to respond to some people and when not to respond to some people, because that all comes with discipline. It comes with starting something small and following it. I mean, we are brought to church, maybe some of us come to church older, some start going to church younger, but because you are taught that every Sabbath you wake up and you go to church, as you grow, you find it so hard, like, oh man, I don't go to church. So if that is the case, why can't we do that with exercise? Why can't we do that with food and say, you know what, this is too much. I'm cutting on this. It's not going to help. But otherwise, get your apparel, get on the road, wherever you are, let's sweat it out.
Let's sweat it out. That's it. Let's sweat it out. Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you for coming through. We've got 3 hands. I think those will be the last ones that we will take. Van Heden, I have a task for you. I want you to look. Sorry, Van Heden. No. I want you to look for. I'll type it for you. I'll type it for you. Simon, do you agree with what Lisa just put across? Do you?
Yes, I do. I do.
Like literally, has your journey also been in line with what she has gone through? In fact, that day 1 it might be difficult, day 2, day 3, but day 93, your body just you're up and running.
You know, the nice thing is that you don't even have to convince yourself. People will tell you, literally. People will tell you, but there's something with you, man. You know, it's either you're glowing, you know, you look good, man, I want to get in shape, but people will always have positive comments when you're doing something good. Like it's like you watering, you know, plants each day. They just blossom, and that's what happens. And the nice thing is that it also shapes your character. You know, right thoughts and actions become habitual. Right thoughts and actions. I think it's selected message, volume 2, page 691, paragraph 4. The power of self-restraint strengthens through exercise. That which at first seemed difficult, by constant repetition grows easy, and right thoughts and actions become habitual. So this thing it will be hard when you start. You will enjoy it because your body will just be, you know, a testament to that. So I agree with what you're saying.
Thank you so much, Simon. You're going to come up with your summary right now, but thank you so much for agreeing to that. 3 hands. Van Heden, I've just given you a task. I know, right? I know, but I've just given you a task. Check what I just sent to you right now. Moano, Pastor T, Van Heden, you'll be the last one, and then we have Brother Simon coming in for all of that. A couple of comments are coming in. Yes, Kubeka. Batibona, Nolo says, I hear and understand what you're all saying. I usually watch my 1,000 pound life in hope of getting motivation to exercise, but I end up relaxing because I'm not that big and I cannot afford pizzas and burgers every day. This is a program that you watch on TV. For those that don't know it, I think it comes out on TLC. I've seen it while looking for football. Guys, getting me right. While looking for football channels, I've seen those particular programs, 1,000 pound life. And there's people eat a lot of pizza, burgers, all fast foods. And Unolas is saying, I hear what you guys are saying, but I think I'm better, right? How do I make exercise? Here's a question. How do I make exercise a constant practice and not easily get distracted? Which is, again, something, Kubeka, that probably in the summary you need to put across. People like me are of small build. And when I put across the fact that I am intending on losing 10 kgs, I need losing 10 kgs. Uskumbuzo, usual public enemy number 1, says to me, what weight do you want to lose? And Vince says you want to be anorexic and stuff like that. But I really intend on losing 10 kgs to move from, I'm on 61 now, and then I want to go at least to 51. That would be what I actually want to be. So how then do we constantly have to encourage people like us, people who are saying, but I'm not as big, I'm not Anam Kaba, I'm not this, I'm not that. How can we encourage that even in line with what Ukuku had said across? Moano, Pastor T, Van Heden, hopefully you're doing the task that I asked you to do. Moano, go ahead.
Thank you, Mta, and good afternoon. So, okay, I just have a few points to make. Okay, first of all, I wanted to comment about the previous speaker's point about eating in accordance to your hunger level, because I feel as if sometimes we just eat because we just like chewing, not because we are actually hungry. But then a simple hack for that, it's your plating. So in my family, we use these big plates. So sometimes you're deceived to think you need to fill the entire plate because the plate itself is big, and you don't need to do that. You just need to eat according to like your portion or according to how much food you can take. So plating is also very important if you're trying to get control of the amount of food that you do eat. And then another point I wanted to add, for those that maybe think when they want to start exercising and eating right, that okay, let me start by with smoothies. Like, yeah, everyone always thinks smoothies is the right way to go. Yes, it can be, but I just wanted to say this, that when it comes to making smoothies, it's not normal for one person to like eat 7 apples in one sitting. So I don't think it's gonna be normal for you to eat 7 apples, 10 bananas, 3 whatevers in one, and then put all of that in a smoothie. It's not healthy because you're just eating too much sugar, because fruits have sugar naturally. So if you want to eat 10 apples and if you're going to put 10 apples in a smoothie, that's not healthy at all. And another thing with smoothies also, when you just eat maybe 1 apple, you're gonna feel that you are full. You ate 1 apple, 1 banana. But with smoothies, you're drinking liquid. So obviously it's not gonna sit in your stomach, but it's gonna pass through in a matter of 15 minutes. So that's another reason why maybe we shouldn't just overhype smoothies as much as people do. And then another thing I wanted to comment in terms of me exercising. For me, I used to love exercising, but I feel as if with COVID, I've become, as Nozi said, like a serious couch potato. And I remember the other time I had to go to the mall, and it was like a 5 minutes walk. But by the time I came back, I was so exhausted as if I had run a marathon. That time it was just a 5 minutes walk. So for me, I think I also stopped exercising because as soon as the whole GBV started, I've just been super paranoid in terms of just going out and hitting the road. So one thing that I am going to introduce is that at church as youth, we decided to exercise every first Sunday of the month as youth. There are different routes in the place I stay. So it's either we'll meet up by the stadium or wherever and exercise or run together as a youth group. That just points to the comment you made about the support system, because I find it hard to do it by myself. So at least if I know I'm gonna see my friend and then we're gonna exercise together, then it's fine. And then the last point I wanted to make is I think it's important for us to listen to our bodies, not just in terms of the exercising, but also the food we eat as well. Because for me personally, I don't consume a lot of dairy products. I think the only dairy I would eat is chocolate, because I love chocolate. But besides that, I don't use dairy milk. I don't use cheese at all. Because for me, I can sense that something goes wrong in my body when I consume those products, especially on my face. I get a lot of pimples as soon as I use dairy milk or eat cheese. So I think it's also important to listen to your body and not just want to exercise because hashtag December summer goals, hashtag you want a slim waist, but actually listen to the needs of your bodies. Because for me, again, if I can feel that, I feel as if my body is heavy. I'm actually listening to what my body is telling me. So I'm going to start exercising and making sure I make a routine out of it, because I'm listening to the needs of my body, not because, hey, December's coming or it's my birthday and I want to look this specific way. So even with the food we eat also. So if you know after you eat a pizza, you feel some type of way, then you should know that you shouldn't be eating that every day. Yes, you can indulge here and there, but let's also avoid not listening to our bodies and just eating whatever and just wanting to just always sit at home because we are not big people or we don't have big fupas. Our bodies will tell us what we need to do. So it's a skill also you need to develop. And that's all.
Thank you so much for that one, Moano. It's skill that we need to develop, just like our mentors here, our brothers, and we don't need to go far for inspiration. There's our friends, Oleander or Simon Lisa, all these friends of ours around us, they're doing such phenomenal work. And there are some here that are doing phenomenal work. There's the Adventist Association for Athletics Association, or club rather. They're all that. I already have the details. My brother Takalan just sent it to me. I'll post it onto the group right now so that everyone can know what we are doing. Right, Pastor T, there you go. You're unmuted. Let me try that again. Something should pop up. I think there are two Pastor T's here. There's a Pastor T with the just small letter, just a T. Then there's Pastor T with two E's. Right, Pastor T with just a T. I'm trying to unmute you here, like big time. I'm not so sure what's happening. All right, while we're still trying to work with you, I want to give over to Van Heden. Van Heden, thank you so much. You did the task very well. In line with that, what we're talking about, you talked about 70% diet, Brother Kubeka, and here are some really mind-blowing quotations from yours truly, Ellen White. I'm going to read one or two here. There's just so much that Van Heden did so well. Sugar is not good for the stomach. It causes fermentation, and this clouds the brain and brings peevishness into the disposition. He sent it to me directly. Right, thank you. I want to move on to the next one while we're trying to wait for Pastor T. Ellen White says, I frequently sit down at the tables of brethren and sisters, right, and see that they use a great amount of milk and sugar. These clog the system, irritate the digestive organs, and affect the brain. All right, let's keep going. I want to read something here very interesting. And affect the brain. Where are we now? Affect the brain. Then it goes on to say, and I want just one line there, says anything that hinders the activity of the living machinery affects the brain very directly. And from the light, listen to this, and from the light given me, sugar, when largely used, is more injurious than meat. And I can safely read this statement because I'm a vegetarian. So I have all rights to read the statement. And from the light given me, sugar, when largely used, is more injurious than meat, right? There's a quotation I asked to Van Heden to bring across that Ellen White, when she talks about that, it could be well written that on some graves, we could write died because of poor cooking. While we speak about diet, while we speak about exercise, let's speak about how to cook that food as well. Something that we need to align ourselves to. I'm going to read that quotation there as well. Pastor T, I'm trying you one more time. If I can't get to you, I'm going to go to Van Heden straight up. Let's try that one more time. Pastor T, how's that?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me now?
Yes, finally. Yes.
Okay. I want to share a quotation from Sister White regarding to what we've been discussing. The book is Our Higher Calling, page 265, paragraph 4. It says, it is our duty to train and discipline the body in order that we shall render to the master the highest possible service. So in other words, when we exercise, we will be able to give the master our highest possible service. So for those who don't exercise, we realize that they're great preachers, great singers, who are not giving the master their highest possible service. Probably they are serving God using 40% of their possible service instead of 100%. So when we exercise, it means we're giving God our maximum higher and possible service. And she goes on and says, we are not to pamper the appetite and indulge in the use of that which is not good for our body, simply because it gratifies the palate. Neither are we to seek to live by a starvation plan with the idea that we shall become spiritually minded. So in other words, some people think that maybe when I starve myself and when I'm healthy, it means that godly things will automatically come in my head. That's not true. The other way is not true as well. So what's yet for, or the unfortunate part of the matter is there are some people who go to hell, yet they are healthy. So hell is going to be full of healthy sinners. People who have got a normal BMI, people who have got a good weight. I'm not destroying this fact that we should exercise, but when we exercise, let us always stay harmony with God, and let us make sure that we are not sinning for God, so that we make it. And then I would also want to answer the other two questions which I asked here earlier on. I'm not a doctor, but I feel my comments are going to help them. The other question was, what can I do when I'm not in control of my diet? Is there something I can do? Let's say I don't afford the food and so on. What I would want to say is we can consult our dietitians. They will give us a good meal plan, which is not expensive. So we can counter that one and beat it up. And then the other question was, if I'm underweight, is there something I can do? Should I exercise or I should stop exercising? I would want to answer that and say, if you're underweight because you do not have food, maybe you are suffering from malnutrition, I wouldn't recommend exercising too much because your body is already suffering. But if you are underweight simply because you're just underweight, I would say it's good for your body to exercise. Why? You're not exercising to gain weight, you're exercising for memory, you're exercising to strengthen your bones, you're exercising for endurance. So I would say you can keep on exercising. That's my comment.
All right, thank you, Pastor T, for that one. Much appreciated. I'm going to give over to Van Heiden. You just answered some of the questions that we had. Thank you for that one. Van Heiden, there you go. Now, before you come through, you just posted something here about cooking. And I'm still on diet, Kubeka, and exercise as well. Ellen White says, it is a sin to place poorly prepared food on the table. I'm coming to Africa. We're not talking about a sin that women do. We're not talking about a sin that men do, because all men and women must cook. Amen. It is a sin to place poorly prepared. It is a sin to place poorly prepared food on the table, because the matter of eating concerns the well-being of the entire system. Ellen White, the Lord desires his people to appreciate the necessity of having food prepared in such a way that it will not make sour stomachs, and in consequence, where are we? I've just lost this part. And in consequence, sour tempers. Now, it means some of our tempers, high all the time. Tafula is the problem. Go to the table, because it makes sour tempers and also sour stomachs. Listen to the last part. Let us remember, hallelujah, that there is practical religion in a loaf of good bread. Hey! Let us remember that there is practical religion in a loaf of good bread. I'm going to post these ones here. Let's take Van Heiden. Go ahead.
Okay, this whole time, I know we are one, but we're not one in the literal sense. The person who's been typing is Ivan, so, and I'm the one who wanted to comment. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the expensive, healthy food. That's the first comment to say, healthy foods and fruits and veggies are cheap. It's when you want to be fancy with the soya burgers and the soya stuff, that's when things start getting expensive. Because if you're a student or you live alone, you can actually share with someone and buy those combos from the supermarket. Those combos of 3 kg of potatoes, 5 kg of onions. You can do that and share with someone else. So really eating healthy is not expensive. It depends on your taste. Otherwise, fruits and veggies are one of the cheapest things on our market. And then I was going to say also, with those people who are saying, no, I'm skinny, so I'll stop exercising. Be careful of self-diagnosing, guys. A person can have a small body and be unhealthy. For example, last year I went for a checkup and the doctor said my cholesterol is slightly high. But if you look at me, I'm not even more than 60 kg, guys. So don't diagnose yourself and say, I'm thin, I'm healthy, so I don't need to exercise. You can be very well thin, but unhealthy. And also the opposite is true as well. It doesn't mean that if a person is very big, then it means that they're unhealthy. Sometimes you need to check whether it's a genetic thing or is it a health thing. But either way, we must not diagnose ourselves. You might be thinking that you are healthy because you are 50 kg or 48 kg or whatever, and you can find out that you've got high blood pressure. Like last time, okay, you guys know Kay, he did say his blood pressure was quite high. But if you look at Kay, he's got a small body. He doesn't look like someone who can have high blood pressure. So let's be careful of self-diagnosing. And also, when it comes to exercise, we have to exercise in a way that is sustainable, in a way that you can keep going. So the reason why, and I'm not against running, the reason why I don't run is because I exercise every day. And for me, running would be too strenuous for me on my knees and on my lower back. I found that for me, walking is more sustainable for my body. I don't feel pain the next day when I have to go out and exercise. So when you're exercising, don't work against yourself. Do it in a way that you can do it for a prolonged period, for months and years to come, because you don't exercise only for today and stop. You have to do it all the time. So you exercise in a way that's not harmful against your bones, that is not harmful against your joints, and you can do it in a sustainable manner that is not harmful. That's all.
Thank you so much for that one day. Thank you so much, Van Heden, for that one day. Oh, your husband want to say something? Yes. Okay. All right. No, that's fine. Thank you so much for that one, guys. Okay. Thank you so much. And I think we need to, Fiennes is saying we need a program on how to cook palatable food on a modest budget. I think, guys, let's just agree. There's lots of information. That's what Mtabis was picking up from internet. There's lots of information. You want to learn how to cook ama wedges. I mean, I'm a bachelor, so I learn how to do these things pretty much. Internet, Google, how to make wedges. Bella. Blah, 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 blah. Skumbuza, I see your hand, I'm gonna give it to you. Blah, 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 blah. How to, there's so much information. We would be grossly ignorant to say to ourselves that we don't know. We know, it's there. Let's just find out, let's be consistent. Skumbuza is the lastest one. Then I give over to Simon to give us the deliverables. Our speaker has been very patient with us. And also remember that he posted his numbers here. He's also a personal trainer. Posted his numbers because we would need his services. So please do contact him there. I'll repost them again. Also, I got from Mutakalani the how to get to Adventist athletics club. And guess who's part of the leadership? Upois Mkize, who happens to be a preacher of note and also an advocate of note. These are men and women in high places that are still taking exercise. So exercise is not for abantu abangenanto yokwenza. Exercise is for people that really need to make sure that they are aligned with Jesus in whatever aspects of their lives. Composer, the last one, quickly go ahead, then I give over to Simon.
Okay. All right. Just a quick one. In the health diet, is not one size fits all. That's the first problem that we usually do as Adventist. Since I have a certain diet that I follow and it works for me, then I want to impose that to everyone. You know, there are some people who are allergic to bananas. I know of a friend of mine, really, she can't eat bananas. If she does, she will have a running time. And surprisingly, a banana is one of the fruit that's supposed to help you when you've got a running stomach. But it will do that. And also I know someone who does not even, who's allergic to ama oranges. When she sees an orange or smell an orange, we have vugalanje, the whole face will become red. So my point is that it's not one size fits all. We have a lot of variety of fruits. Just see what your body likes and deal with that. We are not supposed to force people to eat things that they don't like. And sometimes, let's say they discover that you don't like bananas, and then we start saying, no, you are sick, we are supposed to treat you. No, your body, somehow it has a default when it comes to what we call processing a banana. So which means you're not supposed to eat a banana, you know? So this boils down to, you must know yourself. The first thing that you should do to see what you are healthy is after a sitting, a toilet, check amasimbako. If asinkile, like if amasimbako asinkile to down the water, that means vele you are unhealthy. Nento idla is not healthy. But ungabona amasimbako floating, at least your colon is fine. You know, we should start there. We check amasimba toilet ukuthi ayaflota or ayasink. My sinker is unhealthy, and what you've eaten the previous night, which means you've eaten unhealthy stuff. And then step by step, whatever you eat, ingashintsha amasimba akho, then it shows ukuthi you're on the right track. Also, exercising, it also helps for ukuthi ube namasimba asharp. That's an indicator nje ukuthi uyagula. Ungazibona nje uphuma ucheko uyagula. Ungazibona esinka futhi even ungasicheko uyagula. And ungazibona futhi kunzima ukuphusha uyagula. Kufanele kuziphumele simple, you know. And then mawukuthi that also kufanele udle izinto ezine fiber, a lot of fiber that helps for ukuthi ube ne-colon esharp. I-colon yakho ma-sharp, which means ukuthi amasimba akho azokukhomba ukuthi no, colon yami sharp. So yes, check ukuthi amasimba akho ayaflota na. Ma engafloti uyagula.
Right. Thank you so much. I think going to the toilet is going to be checking exercise. That's an asthma fit. Man, my sink and toilet has got so the problem. Oh my word. Beautiful 2:30 conversations. Oh, Simon Kubeka, you know what? I have nothing to say about the floating and the non-floating of yours truly. Okay, let's go ahead, my man. Take it up, Kubeka.
No, guys, I just want to, to thank everyone for tuning in. I'd like to thank the leadership for inviting me, guys, to share, the little knowledge that I have with you guys. In closing, I just want to mention something which is powerful that we derive from the spirit of prophecy. Ellen White writes in the book, Last Day verse, Uti, no renewed heart can stand in a condition of sweetness without the daily supplication of the soul, of the source of the word, the Bible. That divine grace must be received daily, or no man will remain converted. So my parting words are that is that can you apply the same principle as well into physical health, into our daily lifestyle? As much as we read the Bible, as much as we are fighting so hard, for our salvation as Christians, let us also fight as much as well to keep our bodies fit. Let us fight as much to keep our minds fit as well. So this is a daily struggle. Like I said, it's a daily struggle, but consistent. If we make healthy living, a lifestyle, things will just come easy, And the nice thing I like is that in this church we were given, the health message by God Himself. Go and read, and go to the archives and read what our pioneers have written regarding this subject matter. You'll be blown away. So, I just like to thank everyone, guys, for tuning in and for listening to a mere sinner like me and like myself. I thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Brother Simon Kubeka, for that one. Thank you. May God bless you abundantly in your journey and as you walk with Him. We pray for you. Let's pray for each other as well. Let's encourage each other in terms of gain physical health. And also let's go out there and defend ourselves both spiritually and physically. Like I said, you are doing harm to yourself as an average Christian in the 21st century if you're not both physically and spiritually fit. God bless you so much. Much appreciated. Would like you to, before you go, maybe I'll just do the announcements quickly. Then we have a prayer, then we have the song from God's Grace, which has been gracing us here. And so that at least we can, have that kind of feel to say God has been very good to us. And we have music coming through as well. Right. The announcements are very simple. Next week is on the 13th of March. We're going to be having Pastor Kaya Mieza, who's going to be teaching us about the essence of giving. Remember, 2:30 Conversations 6 to talk about all aspects of human life. Look at us today, we're talking about diet and health. Who knew that we needed to get strong? Now we know, right? So that's fine. Pastor Kaya Mieza, is going to be taking us through the topic, the essence of giving. 9:30 in the morning next week Sabbath, Mina and Leanda are going to be taking you through the lesson for next week's Sabbath school lesson. So please join us. The numbers have dwindled. Maybe it's because people are now attending church, but that's all good and well. Please invite people to come through. If they need data, please do not hesitate. We always have data to give. If they need data, always have data to give. Again, Brother Simon posted numbers. Can you please do that again while I speak so it pops up on people's screens so that they can have your numbers, so that at least if you need help in whatever aspect, you can get that. While speaking about that, while he's posting his numbers here, Mina, I'm going to post the Adventist, the one for Adventist Club. Where is that thing? It's disappeared now. No, let me open it here quickly so I can find it, right? Okay, hold on. I just want to give out a couple of things. Or let me do this. Let me just check it out from my phone here, from Brother Takalani. People are asking about how else we can be able to get through to Adventist Athletic Club. So it happens that the people that are in charge of it, and I'm just going to put their numbers here, just maybe one or two, don't need to give to everyone. If you want the PDF file, I have it here. It's pictures of the people. The chairperson is Brother Boyson Kize, and I'll write his number here so that you can pull through. There's also deputy chairperson Upegin Diweni, and these are people that are part of this. Is the serious thing. It's got leadership, that's like really serious. So 082, that's Boyson Kize's number, 444. And then that is 0333, right? So that's Boyson Kids' number. You can just talk to him if you want to be part of the team as well. There's coach. I'm just going to give you number up, chairperson, no coach, Wandile Nkwalase, who has the number, the following 082. And I think I suggest that you speak to the coach more than anybody else. 082079 as well as 6528. I really suggest that you speak to the coach, which is the last number that I put across here, so that at least you can get all the information that is very necessary. All right, here's the song from our group, God's Grace, which has been gracing us today. The second part of the song that they're going to sing for us here. I'm going to mute myself and stop the video so that at least we can have that song coming through. After we're done with the song, we're going to ask Brother Kubeka to pray for us. In your prayer, my brother, please involve people that are struggling with diet, food. Please involve people that are struggling with weight issues, consistency in exercise and physical health. Also, please pray that God may enable us to be masters of cooking so that we may eat as He has asked us to eat. For those that are struggling with leaving certain things, about sugar, about maybe meat as well, fizzy drinks, about custard, about ice cream, all those kind of things. May you also pray that God gives us the strength after I've played the song here. Here we go.
Let your heart, oh Lord, be mine in the silent angry time. Let the world at last be thine, oh Lamb of God divine. Set my heart above the blue. Let your love be ever new. In this ever wicked time, Lord, let thy heart be mine. Ever, Lord, Savior divine, Maker of mankind, Lamb of God divine. You are ever
heads are bowed and our eyes are closed. But which is okay, Zulu doesn't mhlaba. Siyabonga Nkosi lihle ilanga lesabatho siphe lona. Siyabonga futhi Nkosi ukuthi sikwazile uba nalomhlangano Nkosi. Whereby sikhuluma Nkosi ngezinto ezibalekile Nkosi. Ezihambelana Nkosi nemizimba yethu Nkosi nokuthi siyivikela kanjani Nkosi. We've learned a lot about physical well-being. We've learned a lot about health in general. We've learned a lot about nutrition as well. Ziningi inkinga esibhekane nazo Nkosi. Some of us are underweight. Some of us are not eating right. Some of us, struggle to even think about, physical activity and training in general. I submit us, Lord, to you, Lord. We are facing a lot of challenges, Lord, as individuals, but Lord, you are the only source of truth and the only solution to our problems. That's why, Lord, I humbly, Lord, ask you, Lord, to be with us. Help us, Lord, resolve the challenges we have with our body, because Lord, we understand that this body was created, for us by you. Therefore, you know it best. Size Nkosi ngamunye ngamunye, usilondoloze Nkosi, usigcine Nkosi, siphephile Nkosi, mazathi Nkosi asiphume kulezi mkhono Nkosi, siqhubeke Nkosi nempilo zethu. Lo mkhulu wami enguthandaza Nkosi, ngibonga futhi Nkosi ngelihle igama lenkosi Jesu Kristu, obonga manje kuze kube naphakade. Amen.
Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you so much for such a beautiful time that you had. Ileanda, I'm gonna mute you because this is your personal trainer. And so, yeah, definitely please maybe do the honor. Just pretend like we're at church. You know those elders that say, I am not fit to say thank you to the member. I'll give over to my head elder here, Leander, to just thank our speaker. Go ahead, man.
All right, leadership, thank you so much for honoring our invite to Gutuzuzo Sherela with your experience, such that it actually activated a very important conversation about where we are standing as individuals with health. So, Naksasa, Mpet. Naksasa, please, man, even when we call you from another angle, can you please honor the invite? And with that being said, God bless you and may God bless and keep you. Siyabonga, Mpet. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. Also want to thank God's Grace Ministries for gracing us today. God bless you. Thank you for taking time to make all those videos. You've made about 3 or 4 of them. I know it takes a lot of time since you guys are in different places. Thank you. God bless you for that one. If you want to get more of their music, you can just check out. I think they are also on iTunes there, God's Grace Ministries. They also won an award, which is great, an award for the best a cappella group recently for their song, Lord Have Mercy. I heard that they won an award for that. So that's very great. Now that we're done with our lesson, we have what you call after tears, which is now the common word, after tears, whereby people now can start talking within themselves. I'm going to unmute everyone so that people can start talking. Simon, you're not mandated to stay, but if you want to, you can, right? You can stay, but if you want to go, then that's fine. People are just talking within themselves while we need to understand to float or not to float, those kind of things that Skumbos was talking about right now. I'm going to stop the live stream. Thank you to the Facebook family. I'm going to unmute